If she truly loves you, there will be moments she pulls away, and it will confuse you more than rejection ever could. Before you dismiss that as manipulation, listen carefully. What I'm about to share will change how you interpret silence forever. If you value understanding women on a deeper psychological level, subscribe and like this video now, because most men never learn this, and it costs them the connection they crave. I'm speaking to you not as an enemy, not as someone trying to expose secrets for drama, but as a psychologist who has watched countless men misread the very signs that meant the most. When a woman genuinely cares, her nervous system becomes involved. That means vulnerability. And vulnerability is terrifying when the stakes are high. So instead of leaning in, she may step back. You see distance. She feels exposure. When she loves you, your opinion matters, your response matters, your mood can affect her. That emotional dependency can feel overwhelming, especially if she has been hurt before. So what does she do? She regulates herself the only way she knows how. She ignores you. Not dramatically, not cruelly, subtly. She takes longer to reply. She becomes busy. She creates emotional space, and you interpret it as loss of interest. But here's the psychological truth. Indifference is calm. Love is activating. Love creates anxiety because it creates risk. When she doesn't care, she's relaxed. When she does care, she overthinks. She analyzes. She protects. Pulling back is often her way of regaining emotional control. Men are wired to pursue clarity. Women are wired to protect emotional safety. When feelings deepen, she may instinctively test the distance to see if it's safe to stay close. This isn't about games. It's about fear of losing power in a connection that suddenly matters. The mistake most men make is chasing harder when she steps back. That amplifies pressure. Pressure increases fear. Fear increases distance. But the man who understands this, he remains steady if she's ignoring you gently, not coldly. If there's warmth beneath the space, that's not disinterest. That's a woman trying to manage feelings she didn't plan to have. Most men never realize that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in actions you barely notice. A glance, a half smile, a message left unread for hours. And yet these are the most powerful signals she can give. Because when she hides deep feelings, the world watches her words carefully. But her body betrays her truth. Think about it. If she truly loves you, she's balancing a war inside her own mind. Desire battles fear. Hope wrestles with doubt. And the outcome? Silence, hesitancy, and subtle withdrawal. She might seem distracted, unavailable, or distant, but this is not rejection. It's a woman trying to navigate an emotional storm she hasn't shared with anyone, including herself. Watch her small inconsistencies. Watch how her tone softens when she talks about you to others, or the way she mirrors your humor when she's in your presence. These tiny actions are her subconscious confessing feelings she can't yet own aloud. The ignoring isn't cruelty, it's protection. Protection from vulnerability, from heartbreak, from letting someone see exactly how much she risks by caring. Here's the secret that flips the entire dynamic. Love concealed is not absence, it's intensity controlled. She may create distance to see how safe you are when you're not glued to her, when you're not chasing constantly. The stronger her feelings, the more carefully she tests the boundaries. And most men misread this as apathy or game playing, missing the fact that her heart is quietly invested. You need to step back and observe. Don't fill every silence with messages. Don't interpret every delayed reply as failure. Learn to read her in layers. The words she says, the things she avoids, the energy she exudes. Love hidden behind fear is never chaotic. It's deliberate. Every action, even seeming inaction, carries meaning. And here's the most counterintuitive truth. She's not ignoring you because she doesn't want you. She's ignoring you because she does. Because closeness scares her. Because intimacy requires surrender. And surrender is terrifying when she values herself, her independence, and the potential for heartbreak. If you can recognize that, your response changes entirely. Patience isn't passive. Silence isn't defeat. Observing without pressure becomes a form of respect, and respect is magnetic. The men who survive this test, the ones she eventually leans into, are not the ones who push harder, but the ones who hold steady, who understand that absence doesn't equal rejection, and who see her hidden heart in every subtle, quiet gesture. Most men never realize that love isn't always loud. Sometimes it whispers in actions you barely notice. A glance, a half smile, a message left unread for hours. And yet these are the most powerful signals she can give. Because when she hides deep feelings, the world watches her words carefully, but her body betrays her truth. Think about it. If she truly loves you, she's balancing a war inside her own mind. Desire battles fear. Hope wrestles with doubt. And the outcome? Silence, hesitancy, and subtle withdrawal. She might seem distracted, unavailable, or distant, but this is not rejection. It's a woman trying to navigate an emotional storm she hasn't shared with anyone, including herself. Watch her small inconsistencies. Watch how her tone softens when she talks about you to others, or the way she mirrors your humor when she's in your presence. These tiny actions are her subconscious confessing feelings she can't yet own aloud. The ignoring isn't cruelty, it's protection. Protection from vulnerability, from heartbreak, from letting someone see exactly how much she risks by caring. Here's the secret that flips the entire dynamic. Love concealed is not absence, it's intensity controlled. She may create distance to see how safe you are when you're not glued to her, when you're not chasing constantly. The stronger her feelings, the more carefully she tests the boundaries. And most men misread this as apathy or game playing, missing the fact that her heart is quietly invested. You need to step back and observe. Don't fill every silence with messages. Don't interpret every delayed reply as failure. Learn to read her in layers. The words she says, the things she avoids, the energy she exudes. Love hidden behind fear is never chaotic, it's deliberate. Every action, even seeming inaction, carries meaning. And here's the most counterintuitive truth. She's not ignoring you because she doesn't want you. She's ignoring you because she does. Because closeness scares her. Because intimacy requires surrender. And surrender is terrifying when she values herself, her independence, and the potential for heartbreak. If you can recognize that, your response changes entirely. Patience isn't passive. Silence isn't defeat. Observing without pressure becomes a form of respect, and respect is magnetic. The men who survive this test, the ones she eventually leans into, are not the ones who push harder, but the ones who hold steady, who understand that absence doesn't equal rejection, and who see her hidden heart in every subtle, quiet gesture. There's a part of her that wants to scream her feelings, to tell you everything, to throw caution to the wind and let love take over. But she doesn't. She restrains herself, often unconsciously, because deep feelings make her feel exposed, and exposure is terrifying. Imagine standing on a cliff, knowing you want to jump into the unknown. That's what loving deeply feels like for her. When she ignores you, it's not about punishment, it's about self-protection. Every delayed reply, every subtle withdrawal, every hint of distance is her way of testing the safety of your presence. She's measuring whether you can handle her depth without stepping back or withdrawing. And she's asking silently, desperately, will you respect the complexity of my emotions? Or will you run the moment I show you who I really am? Men often misread this as disinterest or manipulation, but it's neither. She's not playing games. She's internally conflicted, wrestling with the vulnerability that comes with loving someone truly. That nervous energy manifests as subtle avoidance, the half-hearted texts, the distracted conversations, the moments she seems elsewhere. These are signs not of detachment, but of emotional overload. Her mind is constantly analyzing. Every word you say, every glance you give, every shift in tone is being catalogued, interpreted, and measured. She wants to protect herself from hurt, yet she can't fully let go because her feelings are real and profound. The deeper her love, the more intense the internal struggle between reaching out and holding back. This is where most men fail. They interpret distance as lack of love and respond with pressure, with neediness, or with anger. And every reactive message, every attempt to force closeness, only validates her fears, that revealing her emotions is dangerous, that showing her heart will push you away. The truth is, the woman who hides her love is not indifferent. She's hyper-aware. She's scanning for stability, for patience, for proof that the man she loves can handle her intensity without trying to fix it, without trying to control it. If you understand this, everything changes. You learn to recognize the silence as a form of communication, the delay as a form of devotion, and the subtle withdrawal as evidence of care. She may be ignoring you in words, but in energy, in presence, in the little moments that can't be forced, she's revealing the truth. She cares deeply. And every man who learns to see this hidden language gains access to a love far more authentic than the superficial affection most chase. Here's something almost no man understands. Love hidden behind fear is often louder than love openly expressed. It's in the way she hesitates before responding, the way her eyes search for reassurance, the way she remembers the smallest details about you, things you didn't even realize she noticed. That silence, that space she creates, it's her mind screaming internally, "I care too much to risk everything." When she truly loves, ignoring isn't avoidance of you, it's avoidance of panic inside herself. You see, emotional intensity can be overwhelming. If she allows herself to dive in fully, she risks losing control. And losing control feels dangerous when her heart is on the line. So she distances herself, sometimes unconsciously, not because she wants to, but because she must, just to maintain equilibrium. Think about this. The more she's hiding her feelings, the more subtle the signals become. The way she laughs at your jokes, even the small physical gestures like brushing your shoulder or lingering near you, they all carry weight. Every accidental touch, every softened tone is a confession of the attachment she can't yet articulate. The ignoring is not rejection, it's self-regulation. Men often panic at this point. They chase harder, they demand explanations, they interpret distance as disinterest. And yet the reality is almost the opposite. The stronger her feelings, the more protective she becomes over them. Every pullback is a test, a way to see if you're steady enough to handle her intensity without trying to consume her or flee from it. Here's a psychological truth most men never hear. Women hide emotions not to manipulate, but to protect the very thing they care about most: connection. She fears that if she exposes herself fully, the love she feels could be rejected, misinterpreted, or dismissed. So she shields it, sometimes with subtle ignoring, sometimes with deliberate emotional space. If you can recognize this, your role shifts entirely. You stop reacting impulsively to every delay or distant moment. You start observing the undercurrent, the hidden signs that speak louder than words. You begin to see the love she hides, not the distance she creates. And once you understand that, you're no longer chasing fear. You're earning trust. You're earning patience. You're earning access to a part of her heart most men never see. Because real love, the kind that hides in silence, is a treasure few can recognize, and even fewer can hold without shattering it by misunderstanding. Let me be blunt. When she ignores you, it's not always because she's testing you. It's often because she's testing herself. Every woman who hides her love battles the fear that her emotions are too much, that her vulnerability will be too heavy for anyone to carry. And the truth? She's not wrong to feel that way. Opening her heart completely is terrifying. It's a risk most men will never understand. Watch carefully how she behaves in small moments. Does she send a message late at night, only to withdraw the next day? Does she laugh when she's nervous, or become quiet when emotions rise? These contradictions aren't random. They are her internal system struggling to reconcile deep affection with fear of exposure. And it's here, in these subtle patterns, that her real feelings reside. The mistake men make is thinking love should always be obvious, linear, and easy. But when someone truly cares, the emotional weight is heavy. Every interaction is scrutinized, every word analyzed. That is why ignoring you, delaying replies, or stepping back momentarily isn't cruelty, it's self-protection. She's holding herself together so she doesn't break under the force of what she feels. Here's the paradox. The deeper her love, the more she risks hiding it. And the more she hides it, the more men misinterpret it. That's why you've probably felt that unease. The sense that something is off, even when everything seems fine. That's intuition telling you there's more beneath the surface, something she isn't saying. If you can resist the urge to demand clarity, if you can sit in that tension without panic, you start seeing her differently. Her distance becomes a window, not a wall. You begin to recognize patience as power and observation as insight. The woman who hides her love is giving you a challenge. Show me that you can be steady when I can't be. Show me that you can hold space for me without trying to control it. And here's the truth most men fail to grasp. The ones who can wait, who can read between the lines, who can respect the subtlety of hidden emotion. Those are the men who earn the deepest love. Ignoring you isn't rejection. It's a test of your awareness, your empathy, and your capacity to honor her inner complexity. This is where most relationships falter. Men misread withdrawal as loss and respond with pressure. But the man who understands this reads her in layers. He sees what she hides, he values what she protects, and he recognizes that every subtle action is a declaration of love she hasn't yet dared to voice. Here's the reality most men never accept. Love that's hidden is often stronger than love that's displayed. The woman who steps back, who delays responses, who seems distant, she is not careless or indifferent. She is meticulously guarding something precious, her heart. And the depth of that love is terrifying to her, because to truly feel means she must risk. When she ignores you, it's not about punishment, it's about control. Not control over you, but over herself. She's balancing desire with fear, attachment with self-preservation. Every pullback, every pause, every subtle distraction is her mind saying, I care too much to let this get out of hand. It's not rejection, it's emotional calibration. The men who fail are the ones who misinterpret this. They see silence and assume apathy. They see distance and assume the connection is fading. They push, they chase, they demand clarity, and in doing so, they confirm every fear she had about vulnerability. Her heart isn't weak, it's discerning. She knows that love is precious, and she will only surrender it when she's certain it won't be mishandled. Look at her body language, the fleeting eye contact, the slight touch that lingers a fraction too long, the softness in her voice when she talks about the smallest things you've said. These are the signs of hidden love. They are subtle, almost imperceptible, but they reveal an intensity that words cannot convey. Every ignored message, every moment of seeming distance, is punctuated with proof that she's feeling deeply, perhaps more deeply than you realize. Here's the psychological truth. When someone loves fiercely, fear and anxiety are inevitable. To protect themselves, they may create distance, even unconsciously. This is why men interpret it as disinterest. They mistake the very behaviors that signify love for rejection. The irony is brutal. The more she loves, the more she hides. And the more she hides, the more misunderstood she becomes. If you want to connect with a woman like this, you must step back and observe without judgment. Learn to interpret her silence. Learn to respect the gaps in communication. Learn to recognize the hidden signs, the warmth behind the distance, the care behind the detachment. Those who master this see her truth. She is not ignoring you because she doesn't love you. She is ignoring you because she does, and she is afraid of what that means. Understanding this changes everything. It turns confusion into clarity, tension into insight, and anxiety into patience. It allows you to honor her complexity without suffocating her. And once you can do that, once you can read the hidden language of love, you gain access to a depth of connection most men will never experience. Finally, understand this. The woman who hides her love is testing not just you, but herself. Every moment she steps back, every delayed reply, every subtle avoidance is a way for her to measure the safety of giving her heart fully. She's asking questions silently. Can I trust him with my emotions? Will he handle me when I show my vulnerability? Will he stay when I reveal how deeply I care? This is why men panic. Most men are wired to react to distance with pressure, to fill the silence with words, calls, or demands. But the woman who loves and hides does not respond well to urgency. Urgency threatens the balance she's trying to maintain. She isn't playing games. She is protecting herself from the overwhelming intensity of her own feelings. Pay attention to what she does, not just what she says. The small gestures, the little sacrifices, the moments when she lets her guard slip, these are louder than any words she could give. Every seemingly absent moment carries meaning. Every subtle act of care, every hidden glance, every fraction of attention is evidence that she's emotionally invested, even if she can't admit it openly. The men who understand this do something rare. They stay grounded. They don't chase every withdrawal. They don't demand explanations. They observe, they respect, and they learn to read the unspoken language of her heart. And the result? She begins to trust that her feelings are safe with him. Slowly, subtly, she leans in. She opens up. She shows her love not through words, but through presence, through patience, through a depth that can't be faked. Here's the truth most men never hear. Ignoring is not indifference. Silence is not rejection. Distance is not a lack of love. When a woman who truly cares creates space, it is a signal of profound affection, a declaration that what she feels is worth guarding, and that she is trying to manage it without losing herself. To navigate this, you must step into emotional awareness. You must see beyond the obvious, beyond the words, beyond the fleeting frustrations of delayed messages. You must recognize the courage it takes for her to care as deeply as she does, and respond not with pressure, but with steady presence. Those who do this correctly find love unlike any other, a love layered with vulnerability, intensity, and depth, a love that isn't easily shaken because it's built on understanding, patience, and insight. And once you see it, you will never view ignoring as a threat again. You will understand it for what it really is, the hidden language of a heart that loves too much to risk recklessly, but loves enough to endure quietly, waiting for the right man to see the truth behind the silence.